Alright guys, welcome back to Chapter 12 of David Walliams' Billionaire Boy, titled Page 3 Stunna. Now remember to pay attention because you need to listen so that you can give a complete answer on the chapter we're reading today. So, let's get started. And the witch still made me do litter duty, said Joe. He was sitting with his dad at one end of the highly polished 1,000-seater dining room table, waiting for his dinner. Impossibly large diamond candelabras hung overhead, and paintings that weren't very nice, but cost millions of pounds, adorned the walls. Even after I dropped your homework off in the chopper? Said Spud angrily. Yeah, it was so unfair, replied Joe. I did not invent the double-sided moist dry toilet tissue for my son to be put on litter duty. I know, said Joe. That Miss Spite is such a cow. I'm going to fly to the school tomorrow and give that teacher of yours a piece of my mind. Oh, please don't, Dad. It was embarrassing enough when you turned up today. Sorry, son, said Mr. Spud. He looked a little hurt, which made Joe feel guilty. I was just trying to help. Joe sighed. I just don't do it again, Dad. It's so awful, everyone knowing that I'm the son of Bum Freshman. Well, can't help that, boy. That's how I made all this money. That's why we're living in this big house. Yeah, I guess, said Joe. Just don't come turning up in your bum air helicopter or anything else. Yeah? Okay, said Mr. Spud. So, how's that friend of yours working out? Bob? He's not really my friend anymore, replied Joe. He hung his head a little. Why's that? Asked Mr. Spud. I thought you and him were getting on really well. I paid off these bullies to help him, said Joe. They were making his life a misery, so I gave them some cash to leave him alone. Yeah, so? Well, he found out, and then get this, he got all upset. He called me a spoiled brat. Why? How do I know? He said he'd rather get bullied than have me help him. Mr. Spud shook his head in disbelief. Bob sounds like a bit of a fool to me. The thing is, when you've got money like we do, you meet a lot of ungrateful people. I reckon they're better off without this Bob character. It sounds like he doesn't understand the importance of money. If he wants to be miserable, let him. Yeah, agreed Joe. You'll make another friend at school, son, said Mr. Spud. You're rich. People like that. The sensible ones, anyway. Not like this idiot Bob. Oh, not so sure, said Joe. Not now everyone knows who I am. You will, Joe, trust me, said Mr. Spud with a smile. The immaculately attired butler entered the dining room through the vast oak-paneled double doors. He did a little theatrical cough to get his master's attention. Miss Sapphire Stone, gentlemen. Mr. Spud swiftly put on his ginger toupee as Page 3 Stunna, Sapphire, clip-clopped into the room in her impossibly high heels. Sorry I'm late. I was just at the tanning salon, she announced. This was evident. Sapphire had fake tan smeared over every inch of her skin. She was now orange as an orange, if not orangier. Think of the orangiest person you've ever met, then times their oranginess by 10. As if she didn't look frightful enough already, she was wearing a lime green mini dress and clutching a shocking pink handbag. What's she doing here? Demanded Joe. Be nice, mouthed Dad. Nice pants, said Sapphire, looking around admiringly at the paintings and chandeliers. Thank you. It's just one of my 17 homes. Butler, please tell Chef that we want our dinner now. What are we having tonight? Foie gras, sir, replied the butler. What's that? Asked Mr. Spud. Specially fattened goose liver, sir. Sapphire grimaced. I'll just have a bag of crisps. Me too, said Joe. And me, said Mr. Spud. 3 packets of potato crisps coming right up, sir, sneered the butler. You look beautiful tonight, my angel, said Mr. Spud, before approaching Sapphire for a kiss. Don't smudge me lip liner, said Sapphire, as she repelled him forcefully with her hand. Mr. Spud was clearly a little hurt, but tried to hide it. Please take a seat. I see you brought the new Dior handbag I sent you. Yeah, but this bag comes in 8 colors, she complained. 1 for each day of the week. I thought you were going to buy me all 8. Oh, I will, my sweet princess, spluttered Mr. Spud. Joe stared at his dad. He couldn't believe he had fallen for such a wrong 'un. "Dinner is served," announced the butler. "Here, my beautiful angel, love. Take a seat," said Mr. Spud as the butler pulled out a chair for her. 3 waiters entered the room, carrying silver trays. They carefully placed the plates down on the table. The butler nodded, and the waiters lifted the silver covers to reveal 3 packets of salt and vinegar crisps. The trio started eating. Mr. Spud initially attempted to eat his crisps with his knife and fork to appear posh, but soon gave up. "Now, me birthday is only 11 months away," said Sapphire, "so I've made a little wish list of presents you are going to buy me." Her fingernails were so long and fake, she could barely fish the piece of paper from her pink handbag. It was like watching one of those grabber machines at the fair, where you never win anything. Eventually she grasped it and passed it over to Mr. Spud. Joe looked it over his dad's shoulder and read what she had scribbled. Sapphire's birthday wish list. A solid gold Rolls-Royce convertible, £1,000,000 in cash, 500 pairs of Versace sunglasses, a holiday home in Marbella, large, a bucket of diamonds, a unicorn, a box of Ferrero Rocher chocolates, large, a great big, massive, really big yacht, a large tank of tropical fish. I think she must mean tropical fish rather than fish that are up on the news of current affairs. Oh, topical, not tropical. Okay. Beverly Hills Chihuahua on DVD, 5,000 bottles of Chanel perfume, another £1,000,000 in cash, some gold, lifetime subscription to OK magazine, a private jet, new please, not second-hand, a talking dog, general expensive stuff, 100 designer dresses. I don't mind which ones, as long as they are expensive. Any ones I don't like, me and Mum can flog down a market. A pint of semi-skimmed milk, Belgium. Of course, I will get all these things for you, my angel sent from heaven, slobbered Mr. Spud. Thanks, Can, said Sapphire, her mouth full of crisps. It's Len, corrected Dad. Oh, sorry, yeah. Len, silly me, she said. You can't be serious, said Joe. You're not really going to buy her all that stuff, are you? Mr. Spud gave Joe an angry look. Why not, son? He said, trying to control his temper. Yeah, why not, you little git? Said Sapphire, definitely not controlling her temper. Joe hesitated for a moment. It's plain to see you're only with my dad for the money. Don't talk to your mother like that, shouted Mr. Spud. Joe's eyes nearly popped out of his head. She's not my mother. She's your stupid girlfriend, and she's only 7 years older than me. How dare you, fumed Mr. Spud. Say sorry. Joe defiantly remained silent. I said, say sorry, shouted Mr. Spud. No, shouted Joe. Go to your rooms. Joe pushed back his chair, making as much of a clatter as possible, and stomped upstairs, as the staff pretended not to see. He sat on the edge of his bed and cradled himself in his arms. It was a long, long time since anyone had hugged him, so he hugged himself. He squeezed on his own slobbering plumpness. He was beginning to wish that Dad had never invented Bum Fresh, and they were all still living in the council flat with Mum. After a few moments, there was a knock on the door. Joe sat in defiant silence. It's your dad. Go away, shouted Joe. Mr. Spud opened the door and sat down next to his son on the bed. He nearly slid off the bedspread onto the floor. Silk sheets may look nice, but they aren't very practical. Mr. Spud bum-jumped a little nearer to his son. I don't like to see my little Spud like this. I know you don't like Sapphire, but she makes me happy. Can you understand that? Not really, said Joe. And I know you had a tough day at school, too, with the teacher, the witch, and with that ungrateful boy, Bob. I'm sorry. I know how much you wanted a friend, and I know it didn't make it any easier. I will have a quiet word with the headmaster. Try and sort things out for you if I can. Thanks, Dad, Joe sniffed. I'm sorry I was crying. He hesitated for a moment. I do love you, Dad. Ditto, son. Ditto, replied Mr. Spud. All right, so that's the end of Chapter 12. So it's now time for you to go and answer your questions. Remember, do not pop up in someone else's video. Do not start talking to somebody else while you're recording. Sit still while you're recording and let us see your face when you record. Make sure you hit submit. Have a great rest of your day.